Hello once again, fellow fans and boxing family, and welcome back to another prediction video. Before I get into the content, I would just ask as usual that you would share, like, hit the bell notification, and most importantly, if you're watching, you might as well subscribe. You're just pressing a button and you're helping the channel out tremendously. And so I appreciate those who have supported these videos, who have made requests, and who have participated in the channel. So the fight I'll be covering in this video is going out to Austin Webb 2101, I believe. And Austin Webb has sent me plenty of great fight requests. And so keep them coming. And I thank you for your requests and for participating in the channel. So the fight that Austin wanted me to cover is Vasily Lomachenko versus Julio Cesar Chavez. And I'm just going to say this fight takes place at any common weight, so use your imagination. But I really like this fight, and I believe that this fight will be closer than people realize. And as I'm always preaching, styles makes fights. So that's one thing we always have to take into consideration and keep in mind when covering or thinking about these fantasy matchups. So Chavez versus Lomachenko. Let's get into it. And Lomachenko does have some advantages here. His footwork, his ability to step around, throw punches from angles, and he nicknamed himself Lomachenko. So despite his 3 losses, and we have to consider the styles and the circumstances, but despite his 3 losses, Lomachenko is not an easy guy to fight, and he's a very frustrating guy to fight. So he'd be able to handle someone who's coming straight in on him, and he does handle pressure fighters well. But on the other hand, Lomachenko's losses came against power punchers. So sometimes Lomachenko can get gun shy when he feels that power and when his opponents has popped to their shots. Now, going back to the Devin Haney fight, I mean, we can debate that and go back and forth all day. I feel that Haney did enough to win the fight or to pull off the close decision which he was awarded with. But my point is, Devin Haney wasn't the power puncher that Teofimo Lopez and Orlando Salido was. And Lomachenko did get gun shy in those fights. So my point is, the power of Chavez can shut all that down. And something that's definitely an important factor is that Chavez is so seasoned and he's experienced against boxers. And Chavez has fought and beaten boxers successfully. Chavez has names on his resume such as Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker and Meldrick Taylor. And I feel that Meldrick Taylor may be his most notable fight. And we saw how that went down. Meldrick Taylor was definitely the more superior boxer, the more fundamentally sound. But the toughness of Chavez just overcame that, and he ended up breaking Meldrick Taylor down. And so I can't help but to wonder, would he do the same thing to Lomachenko? Because Lomachenko, well, his skills is definitely up there with Meldrick Taylor. Just being real, a very awkward fighter, very unorthodox, and a southpaw on top of that. But it's hard to beat Chavez if you can't get his respect. And if you can't hit him with something that hurts him. Now, I'll say that 99.9% of the time, I normally favor the boxer. I normally favor the one with the jab, the more fundamentally sound fighter, and the more technically superior fighter. But it's something about Chavez's style, his pressure, his heart, his toughness, and his determination that just breaks down those barriers. So although I feel that Lomachenko has more attributes and more tools in the tool belt, I mentioned his footwork, his hand speed, his ability to step around, his defense, head movement, upper body movement, and so on and so forth. I do feel that the toughness and the determination And all the other things I mentioned about Chavez would just be too much for Lomachenko, and he wouldn't be able to hit him with anything to gain his respect. And so I'm going with Chavez by late knockout or late stoppage. Those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next video.